Welcome from the lube rack. Anybody that was following our trip down to Louisiana saw a mini bike died on us. This here is the culprit. If you can see that, that is the starter solenoid relay. Goes on the side of the bike. We've replaced that. We had to replace the plug that sits in on top, and I'll show you where we're at so far on it. We had the bike completely dismantled. Did a bunch of pictures. She's still not all the way back together. Got parts laying over there on the floor, the ferries off it and everything.
Move your head a little bit, you're blinding the camera.
So, come around this side. We traced wiring, we had the tank off it. As you can see, still don't have the speedo back on it. We had the headlight apart, making sure everything was working the way it was supposed to. What we ended up with is replacing that item with a brand new one. OEM. It's this one actually is from Rick's. Put the new plug in. Everything's wired up good. Also, when it took this out, and we think it was because it had a loose connection here, and that's what took the
So it got hot.
It got hot, and it took this out and toasted it. But it also, as we found out while we was trying to get the thing to start again, had to replace the battery. So I got a brand new battery in here. The battery it was in there was only a week old. It made it 700 miles and it fried it. We took it in, tested it, it's junk. So I got a brand new battery. And now, I'm glad we was able to do this in the lube rack.
Yeah, and real quick, one of the things that was a sign of the battery was junk is we would check the battery and we could have it at 12 volts, but as soon as we hooked it up to anything, the voltage would fall down to like 3 volts. Like it just couldn't hold. So under load, it just wasn't holding up the amperage anymore. And when we tried to load test it, we couldn't even load test it anymore.
So this is what we got now. And I'm glad we've got to do this in the shop. Lights come on. And the baby girl is alive again. So we'll keep you posted on, we're going to keep an eye on the wiring and make sure we don't have anything else, but near as we can tell, it just happened.
We also checked the rectifier to make sure that the rectifier wasn't dumping out too much voltage, and it seems to be just fine. When we first started, we're getting a little over 13 volts on it. When we rev it up, we run up to about 14 and a half. Yep. So we don't think the rectifier was the problem. We also checked to make sure the rectifier wasn't dumping AC out of it instead of DC, because the stator is an AC thing. And it's not dumping any AC out of it, so
the mini bike is back together. It is running. We will rack up more miles. I can't really complain. 19 years, almost 114,000 miles, and this is the first time it stranded me, so made me whine a little bit.
We're hoping it didn't reset the odometer back to 0.
It did not. All right. Thank you. Y'all be safe.